Hi, this is me. I get real. I just some young guy on a dating was like, "Oh, you seem interesting. If anything, maybe we could be friends or something." I was just like, it's almost like you're being broken up with before you even like, "Oh, we can be friends though." This guy is young. I mentioned he asked if I was a musician. I wondered why. I'm not. Before I started this um program, I mentioned another video from my old church where it was a music thing to get the normal people into music on the stage. I was already doing the sound, and so I was already on the audio and video team, two different teams. And as far as doing all of the, I don't know, the soundboard and the speakers and the monitors and getting everything queued up for the screen, and that was wild doing that live. I have an urge to get in there and play on my turntables, like really bad. I was a musician. I was a child, and prior to going to that church, I had been homeless, on and off homeless, and I had my keyboard. I don't know when I had my keyboard, but my ex, I told him not. You had to use the plug in one of those Radio Shack keyboards. You know, it was a radio. Sorry, it was battery powered, and sorry, I'm gonna have to start this video over because I ate something. If I eat something I'm not supposed to eat, my nose gets like super. All I ate was kale. There was a maple leaf in it. Sorry guys, I need a tissue. If I eat something I'm not supposed to eat, and my body reacts to, I get really stuffy nose fast, which is almost anything I eat nowadays. I was practicing on that piano still in the 90s and my guitar regularly. My ex blew up. So you used to plug in those settable, multi-use. It's not the word I'm looking for. You can change the settings of the input-output on the cord, and you can change the prongs. Which we actually had one of those around the house. I think someone stole a bunch of stuff out of our house. I ended up telling him, like, and that's, like, back then you had to know what you're doing with electronics. It was like plus, minus, how many, I don't know if it, I don't even know what I'm talking about. Was it amps or how much power is going into it? And it's like being careful what kind of, you plug in cell phones. Someone is talking about their solar charger and making sure you don't blow up your computer device. Is that a hummingbird? Or those leaves? I see stuff. That house next door is super close to my house. Oh my god, it's making me feel claustrophobic. Oh my god. Unless you don't have the blinds like open, like, it's weirding me out. Maybe that's more of that caved in feeling like I'm being swallowed whole by the earth. And then choosing the right prong, because some things are really close. So say this is a bigger plug and this is the power source. This one might fit, and then one like a little bit bigger might fit. But yeah, he didn't pay attention. It says it right on the back. I'm trying to think if I have an electronic device to put my phone, an old-fashioned device around where you need here's something. Oh, this thing broke. I'm so mad. I love water fountains. So this one has that on there. Let's see if it actually has. Oh, I was gonna take a picture. Anyways, being on and off homeless. Yeah, so this says, so you see the cord says battery powered, and then it has a place for a plug, which it didn't come with. I actually had another fountain that broke. It had a cord. I threw it away, and it had a fuse in it. I should have kept it. I had a fuse, and it was probably, I didn't have a GFCI. It was probably like semi-waterproof, or like at least had a ground on it. DC, negative 3.0 volts. It goes negative, then a symbol that I don't understand, then positive. Alright, so I should probably get rid of this because I haven't got it to work. This was one of my Christmas presents, and my son took the... There's some... I think it was inside. There was a piece of... I can't even think of the word. Oh shoot, the screw is missing. Bubble wrap surrounding one of the... I think it was something inside. Something somewhere. He tore it off and threw it away. And I was like, what the heck? Like, I never get... I don't know where the screw is. I never get presents for holidays. So I bought this for myself. I'm about to... Oh shoot. And I dropped a picture on the floor. I never get I never get pictures. Or sorry, that was a picture. I never get gifts for holidays. Very rarely over the past 20-something years. So I bought that for myself. My other one broke at like some drugstore or something. I don't know. Maybe Target. I don't know. It was cheap, and it didn't really work. It worked for like 3 days, but I think it was messed up already. My son took the thing off, but I don't know. After that, it was working. My daughter thought it was cool. Sent a video to her neighbor, friend, and oh, it's kind of cool. Like in the zenned out kitchen. It was nice having that there in the kitchen while you're doing dishes. And I've changed the battery and filled it with water multiple times, and I figured it out, and I haven't gotten to work since. So I should put it away if it doesn't work. So the on and off homelessness, we ended up in Portland, had an apartment next to a music center. That used to be an old firehouse on the east side. And a neighbor's like, oh, have you taken your kids over there? You should sign up for classes. And so I did. They were little kids, and I didn't know they had scholarships. So I was paying like $70. I was paying like $2 and pennies every week. Literally, like I was bringing like an envelope of pennies and like dumping them on the counter. I don't know how I paid it off, but I paid it off. Like I said, it was like, it might have been less than, it might have been $26 times 2, $50 or $70. I don't know. We had a accordion. My kids hate me for getting rid of this. I'm gonna cry. My kids hate me for getting rid of this accordion. It was really old. And it was not a big one. It wasn't like one of those dinky little ones. It was right. The medium size was perfect. And I made a strap for it. And we'd go over there with the accordion. I don't know if we had a recorder. 2 little kids. And we'd get on the piano. I don't know if I had my harmonica or not. We'd get on the piano and jam. And I'd teach them how to play the piano. And they were just like babies, like toddlers. So I didn't, they had to be able to, I don't know, I probably just carry my son. He didn't walk for a long time. And he didn't have shoes. And I remember putting in, it was right across the street though, but I remember taking them up the stairs and playing, jamming. I might have taken a guitar over there too. It was just set, and so basically you could check out on a room with the piano and just jam, shut the door and jam. So I did that with my kids a lot. Of course, all the same thing. My ex-husband tore up my old guitars. 2 of my guitars. One, I think I threw it at him because he was ticking me off, and that was my fault. The neck cracked, and I had some guy fix it. It was a really, really awesome guitar with special fine tuning, and this guy took it apart and replaced the neck, but he didn't put the fine tuners back in. He didn't put the back plate back. He just totally destroyed my guitar. I played For Release by Beethoven on it. It was the best guitar ever at one time. So you got to be careful. I also had someone else change the strings on my other guitar, and they did it too tight in the guitar. My ex would try to, I was like, you can't tune it so tightly, you're going to break the neck or whatever. But the bridge thing lifted up, and then this guy ended up giving me another guitar, another classical 6-string guitar. I guess he used to make them back in Russia, but he would jam. I heard him jam on a classical guitar this guy named Peter was a janitor at my kid's old school, and then he actually brought me that guitar at church one day, and it was really freaky. He was going to lend me a Russian/US, or sorry, English Bible. His daughter had it. He kept meaning to get it. Both of those guitars need to be have the strings changed, and I hate people doing stuff with my stuff, and I'm gonna have to just. Anyway, so I went to this church, and I was playing music as much as I could from college all the way up, and then my kids were doing a ton of music, so I was a parent, a Suzuki parent, and a piano, and a general music student parent, and then my son got to brass, and my daughter was into art, so I was that parent, excuse me, and we ended up in the piano a few years ago, right before I got laid off that one job, and then I got in a good accident. But the piano, I got in an accident, got a rabbit, or we got the rabbit and the piano, then the accident. I don't know. I think we got the piano, then the rabbit, then the accident. And my daughter, Suzuki trained, will only play by ear. She does not want to learn notes. She'll do a little bit, I think, to start a song that she used to play on a violin, which we don't have a violin. She says she doesn't want to lose the gift of playing by ear. I learned how to play notes, and then my son is a musical prodigy. We don't, all of our talents we don't use publicly, or one time my cousin, I think probably every person that I know, if I don't like them, or they don't like me, or they're really abusive, I feel like a lot of those people had one thing to say to me in a lifetime that was worth listening to. And she goes, "Oh, you know that God gives you the gifts." And she was talking about my guitar. I'm playing, but I'm not good enough. And I was better than any of the guitarists out there. I'm not a drummer or drum, but I was better than the guy I was playing. The leader of the whole place was playing the keyboard, and he only knew chords. He didn't know how to read music, or like when I was going to the music, he just like made stuff up, made it sound good. But I was trained different than that, just playing chords, and I was trained different than my kids, starting with Suzuki and then working their way up to supposedly reading music, but they didn't read music because they heard it once and they could play it. That was their mind, how their minds worked. And I was trained to play music by notes, very old-fashioned. Piano teacher sits next to you, marks up your book with a pencil, which I got a replacement book online, and I got the one with the most pencil writing, because I wanted to have that vibe of piano teacher sitting next to a student, writing in cursive. When I was a kid, you're supposed to be able to read that. I got obstinate because my brother started hating the piano lessons, and I quit because he quit, and I wish I hadn't. That's the one thing I wish my mom had not let me quit. I also quit volleyball because it sucked. As a teacher, or the coach was racist. But my brother was in choir a lot anyway. He changed. I did a lot more art, and then I did guitar. I think the first lesson I took was 8th grade. I think it was 8th grade. Might have been. I think it was might have been high school. Maybe it was 9th grade. I don't know. It doesn't matter. I was a kid still, under 18. It's like female issue, end of female issue. I feel like super emotional, for no reason really. But yeah, the church people didn't know anything about formal music, and if you sit around and jam enough, and they have these bootleg CDs, and you listen to them, and you get the chords, and you practice, and then practice together several times a week, it ends up sounding good. It sounded good during church, and I can smell my kale through the vents, and it sounded good, and the singers were really good, so I'm not gonna lie, but it wasn't something like you take some sheet music And you play it that way as a group for each instrument and each chord or each whatever note you're in. And you give it to a different group and they play exactly the same way. But, you know, like, it wasn't like that. It was like kind of made up. Like, I don't know how to explain it. So I was formally trained in music when they had chords. And I was like, okay, fine, I can do chords on the piano or on the keyboard or on the I could do most chords on my guitar. The problem was my fingers are super short and they're like semi-webbed, so it's like they were doing some crazy chords. And so I learned chords a lot, but I also learned note reading since I started in piano. And my guitar teacher in high school put me. I was doing for release, so I was like playing each note. And then because it was a classical guitar, I did that on an electric guitar. But on the classical guitar, I would strum, like finger pick, you know. So it's a whole nother. They told me I had to use a pick. I wasn't allowed to do that. I had an old guitar that didn't have a plug. They're like, you can't. Like, they never offered to set up a mic with a little amp speaker, and they're just like, you suck. We can't hear you play. And I would spend all week practicing. Like, we'd meet once a month, I think. I would spend all month practicing, hour after hour, listen to the CD, have the music out, play it over and over again, get my fingers in shape, keep my nails cut. Oh yeah, I took guitar lessons out in Portland too. I wanted to take the classical class. I think I took the basics. And the guy was just like, you have to practice every day. If your roommates are at home and the dishes aren't done, no, you don't do the dishes, you tell the roommates. And my kids were little. I was like, yeah! It's like, you guys do the dishes. Like, I was like, laugh. This guy's looking at me funny because, you know, guitar people. Like, serious, yeah, it's such like 80s rock hair, whatever, 90s rock hair. That guy cut his fingernails on the side super sharp. It's like he had like vampire fingernails on the side and super short fingernails on this side. So what happened was that my cousin used to go to church by herself, and my grandma was raised Methodist, and my cousin was going to the Catholic. I don't know if she was going to Catholic church first, but she was going to church, and she said there was some drama and she couldn't take it anymore. So she was like texting me on Sundays like, oh, I just got back from a service at this church. And it sounded like she was going to the Catholic church for a while by herself and in Ohio. And she's like, there's one thing, God gives you gifts. Use those gifts before you lose them. And I was like, always stuck. And I just took that and I just like practiced so hard. And they were like, you suck. You don't know how to play the guitar. And the guy would we would separate into small groups, so guitars, singers, I don't know, drums, whatever, we separate into groups, keyboard. And the guy that was supposedly helping me, he pretty much was just a jerk. It's so rude. And I didn't touch my guitar for like years because I hated how they talked to me. They let everybody, 100% of the people that went to those, I went to that for like 2 years. 100% of people except for me got to play on stage. I didn't even really have a chance to bring my electric guitar, my amp, and I remember playing at the park, or between the kids' school and the park. It was like a playground adjacent to a park, and I was jamming on the guitar the kids were playing. And some white guy was like, oh my god, and these are songs I like made up. It's bluesy music, it's kind of rocky, mostly blues beat, and this guy's like, oh my god, keep playing. Here's you. Now that is a real guitar player right there. I just hate people. It's like, you can say all this stuff to you, and it's like you just destroy your life because someone else is a jerk. And I'm just tired of myself being like that. So then I get my guitars. I left them out. I used to play them. I had the stand and everything out for the closet doors. And then we kept having these inspections. And at one time, like 4 years ago or 6 years ago, put this guitar in the closet with the cases, the music stands, all this stuff used to be out. The music I had, Star Wars music, all this stuff. And I gave the music to the Goodwill. I put all this stuff away. And then the next time I look at the guitars, my son loves music. Like all the strings are broken and rusty, corroded. These are classical strings. It's like, I hate that about myself. And it's like so much stuff gets put away during inspections, and the stuff you want out that you use, it's not a good storage system I have here. I'm so busy. I work every day, and one of my neighbors gets free welfare money. Induction been getting it forever, and they have too much money. And she's like, "Oh, it's good for you to be working 7 days a week, 20 hours a day. It's good for you to be out. Good for your kids to be the same." I was like, you just want to give her a finger and punch her in the face. Like, why don't you go freaking work 7 days a week, and I'll sit at home and get $1,000 a month of welfare minimum, at least $1,000 a month. And then let me see how you keep your house and your fridge clean, how you make all your food from scratch, and how you go shopping every day and buy new dishes and new clothes for your kids, and all this junk food and fast food and pizza and all this stuff that they kind of ask me, why did you buy this for your kid? Why don't you take your kid to get his hair professionally cut? Because I can't pay for it. Oh, it's only $12. It's only $20. I don't have freaking $20. I gotta call the court in Illinois. I had driven from Detroit, Michigan to Detroit out here to Chicago, and we were gonna go to a party, a techno party, a rave. We didn't know where. I don't know how we're. I don't even know if we. I don't know. We had got a hold of somebody that used to live in Michigan, and it was their birthday weekend. And I don't know if we were gonna call that guy and try to meet him at this warehouse party or whatever type of party. Like, I always think the Midwest was like warehouse parties, and I don't know what we were gonna do, but I mean, we didn't just drive there for no reason. The problem was I had to go to the bathroom, and we were in the city, and there was nowhere to use the bathroom, and so we were trying to go to all these gas stations, convenience stores. They all said customers only or whatever, and so we ended up in the suburb. I go, we get on the freeway, we'll find like a restaurant or something. I had to go so bad. I was holding it for hours, and I was like, we went to Lake Michigan. There's a bunch of guys in business suits. I wanted to like so badly just get on the sand and just squat down. I had to go so badly. I don't even know if there was any public bathrooms there. Probably should have checked. Went to this gas station. Now we're driving around all day because we were at a party at Detroit the night before. Drove all the way there, and we're driving around all day looking for a freaking bathroom. So by that time, it was time to get gas, gum, and water. So we went in. My ex-husband, we weren't married yet, and he told me and my friend, Ben, don't go in the bathroom together, whatever you do. So we go inside. There's a sign on the door that said that was a unisex, like a male-female. So we're like, oh, cool, let's go in. And we went in together. I had to pee so bad. And then he was changing clothes. And then I changed, and I was washing my face. So we were in there less than 2 minutes. I was washing my face in the sink. And then I heard someone knocking on the door like it was the cops. It was the cops. I got arrested for a minuscule thing that was found. Like, it was basically trash. Some suspicious trash. In my jurisdiction, in the jurisdiction I'm trying to apply for a license, there's nothing illegal about what I had on me. But in that jurisdiction, in the 90s, it was enough for them to take my car and to book me. I heard that this was I heard that this was sealed No, I heard that this was thrown out, noli pros. Says I was convicted. I don't even know this freaking happened in 1998. I have no idea. My mom died right after this. Or just 97? No, I think it was 98. Yeah. I don't even know. My mom died right after this. I don't even know the original date. I don't know anything about it. They didn't even use my correct name. Conditional discharge. Case is closed. Something terminated. I don't know. It says I said I was guilty. I had to pay $100 for being stupid. Basically, I hired a lawyer because I was going to be a doctor. And I was like, I need help because I went to court and they told me to come back with a lawyer. My mom had died and I didn't have a lawyer and I was homeless. So I hired one like 10 years later. And I went back to Illinois. So basically, me as a black person was in the suburbs and they called the cops as soon as we got there. And I had a negligible amount of a semi-legal product in my purse. And it destroyed my life. My lawyer said that was illegal search and you were detained an unreasonable amount of time with no cause. Sometimes I'm like doing online dating and it's like I'm trying to date these white guys. I don't want to tell them. I don't want to scare these people. Like, ask me questions about myself. Like, oh my god, your life is so hard. Yeah, you don't even know. Like, I'm trying to just not even try to scare you away. Like, just being black. It's like I thought I could pull myself out of poverty and out of. It's like my parents made me be like. I'm really bad at my speech, and when I got in that car accident, I feel like I had a concussion. I watched the right videos or like stuttering and changing the subject rapidly, and I'm like, before a car accident, I was doing really well doing public speaking. I hate this stuff, and they're trying to tell me that I don't have any injuries, that I'm making it up. It's like you know how you were before you get hit by a 4,000-pound SUV or 3,000, whatever it is. Okay, I gotta go to the store in 20 minutes. I'm out of bananas. I figure I might as well not. I'm gonna be gone. Anyways, I went to court and they told me to come back, and I didn't understand. And I didn't have any pencil paper. I didn't write down the time or date. I didn't know the phone number of the court. I went out into the hall. I would ask them, like, oh, check the name on the wall or something. I don't know, like, courtroom, this and that. I don't even know. I was so confused. So I missed the whole courtroom was full of people. I couldn't talk back to the judge and say, can you please repeat that? So I was trying to find some help, and nobody helped. Like, I never got in trouble in my life. I didn't understand. I don't understand these papers. This paper revised in 1994. This is so long ago. I didn't understand. Yeah, my mom died a couple of months after this happened. Like, I hate my life sometimes, guys. Like, it sucks so bad. And it's like, I told myself now, like, I don't care if people don't want to be my friend, and I don't care. Like, I'm still looking for a guy to date. Hold on. I'm gonna find more in the closet anyway. I need to see if somebody told me they're gonna put a Wi-Fi up here. I gotta just pause it. I felt in my heart, like, I felt like in my heart that I would be able to date someone and have a guy, but I never felt in my heart that I actually have true friends. I had a prophet tell me that I was going to travel and my kids would go with me. I never felt like, I felt like God said to do the work of heaven, I'm not going to do it alone. I could do it alone, but I needed someone to link up with to do exponentially more work as two people than one person could do. Exponentially more. So that's what I'm going on, is that vision. But I have this is for medical license. I have my license. This is from Oregon. And I was looking for my original. I want to put the exact same thing that I wrote on my original license, and I can't find it. I gotta look through. My son's sleeping down there next to my file cabinet. I have to go to work soon, so I have to be getting ready in about an hour. So I'm looking for the original licensure packet. I did have this letter that said, the lawyer went into court. Oh my God. I don't know. These are all the renewals. I didn't print this year's renewal. Paperwork. I probably should have put it. I saved it on my computer. Oh God, I'm so sweaty and cold and sore throaty. So basically, I have all these. These are not all the papers because stuff gets like, for instance, what is all this? Stuff gets like in. If I have stuff out, I was like, oh, I'm gonna go and organize my stuff, put it together, or I'm working on an application, and then I will have an inspection, and I'll just throw everything into a box or a paper bag, and then I'll be like, oh crap, where is that crap, you know? And I just gets moved because, like right now, I have to leave and go to the store because I can't eat at the pizza place. I can't eat anything. Hospital discharge, restraining order. With some of these papers, if you want to get copies, you gotta go to the courthouse and pay for them. Someone's like, get rid of all papers, you don't need all this junk. If you need a bank statement or this or that, like, pay for it. Like, don't keep it in your house. But for me, it's just like, you're kind of like, it's a weekend, I work all week, during business hours, I need to access stuff. But if you can't find it, it's pointless. Alright. Let's pull up this first one. So basically the same case got entered twice, so the same exact case got duplicated. Because they said they sent me a warrant and I never got it, and my mail was supposed to be forwarded to my brother's house because I was homeless, and I never got any notification whatsoever. I don't even know if the mail was being forwarded or what, because I was living in a house with like 30, 40 people. I have no idea what happened to that mail. It could be still sitting in that house. I paid my rent at that house, by the way, and they stole my money, and someone told me they stole my money, and then they still sit in for collections. I'm so mad. I'm so bad. Somebody told me that there was suspicious activity, and basically the treasurer was a couple, and they were laundering money because they weren't paying their rent, and I paid mine. Noli pros. What I'm gonna do is look up this. I'm gonna look this up. This is so hard for me, guys. I don't know. I've had to call the feds. I've had to call I've had to call the feds. I've had to call the DEA. I've had to call these courts. When I wanted to turn myself in, they said, "Do you have a lawyer?" Like, no, you can't come without a lawyer. Well, they said, if we assign you, I said, I need justice of the peace. I have no money. So if we assign you justice of the peace, or justice of the peace, what's it called? The pro bono, whatever the lawyer, court-appointed lawyer, they said, you will be given a court date, and if you don't show up, you're going to be in big trouble. I was like, I'm in college to be a doctor. I have 2 little kids. I have no money for a plane ticket. I said, I'm trying to turn myself in. Because I tried to hire a lawyer through here. I don't know if that was for the same thing, though. I did try to hire a lawyer for something associated with the same incident. And I ended up, they're like, oh yeah, I talked to my supervisor, they're like, we're not licensed in that state, nobody can do it. Oh shoot, I didn't think of that, right? So I'm gonna go to courts, and I'm gonna type in this case number. Oh god, I'm having like the worst freaking headache right now. I feel so sick. Eight to 4:30. I think I might. Alright, here's what I'm gonna do. I gotta get some paper. Alright, so I'm gonna say January 1998. I think, I'm trying to figure out what time it is in Illinois. January 1998. Here's the complaint number. I don't know if this. So I printed this. The stuff disappeared. The stuff, obviously, it was not on. It was not online when it happened. Then they added more charges to it that were an issue. Like, anyway, here you go. Any jurisdiction. Looks like I owed $700. I actually owed $767. What the heck did I owe $767 for? And here's a case number. It's a misdemeanor, Class A. I don't know what that means. Class A. All I know is the lawyer would have saying, like, basically in his words, hallelujah, the miracle happened. It could be worse. Looks like the original paper, carbon copy, or carbonless copy. No, this is different. Alright, so we're gonna go to Department of Health online application. The phone should not be ringing right now. I hate when the phone rings. My son is trying to sleep. It's tipping me the heck off right now. I need their number. I'm gonna call them. I might not have enough time. What time is it? So let's say it was 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5. So it would be too late to call. Okay, Washington. State of Washington. Trying to find their phone number. 360. Alright, so let's go back to DuPage County and enter in this case number. Where'd it go? I wrote everything on the freaking same line because I was like so tripped up right now. I have a headache. I feel sick. I hate when you work and you're like, you get sick at work and your kids miss a test and then they don't help you out and you're just like ticked off and nobody cares. There used to be a link that just said, I think it's under pay tickets online. Search for your case. pay tickets online. That's all I remember. I had to read. I can't even, when I do applications, I have no idea what, what happened. I don't know. It was so long ago. I never, ever had. I never had any, I'm trying to cut this little bit. No cases found. Okay, I'm trying to cut this number out. Back to search. Case number. I'm going to type it in again. Number 7. If I can read my writing. It has a -01, so if I can just do it 01. Not a valid case number. I used to be able to. Find it like that. But these records are supposedly sealed, so they may actually not come up. My ex-husband, I was able to search his because it was like in the same row as mine or whatever, or similar number, and his was, here it is. I hate looking myself up online, especially when it's naughty. His name they spelled wrong. They left like one letter out, and so I don't know if anybody would ever try to get him. This is a different case number. This might be, I told you there was a duplicate. This is a completely different number than I had. 30567. So I think they got rid of, they were supposed to I don't know. Well, look at all this information. 2007, administration reassignment, certification of parents, 10-14. Objection to, they objected to expungement. I think they objected to expungement. Because it was my first offense. I don't know why. Let's not call it. Petition denied. It was like, denied. Access denied. Right, I'm gonna call Washington State right now. I wanted to pull up my application and the question that said, have you been convicted? Entered a plea of guilty. So if I had said not guilty, I wouldn't have to fill this out. I'm gonna pause this and call Washington State right now, guys. I feel like I'm gonna die. So it's 2 o'clock, I gotta go to the store. I gotta send all the paperwork. I couldn't even, my application was open, and then I tried to refresh the page and do all the stuff, and it completely disappeared. And I'm trying to, he goes, oh, if you answered yes to these questions, it should kick you out. You have to do a paper application. And I was like, it didn't kick me out, and it just asked me to send a bunch of stuff, and it asked me to explain it. And I didn't even remember saying I was guilty. And what sucks, whatever I was carrying on me was not even, mine. It was, a group of ours, and I got busted for it. And that guy that I said was my friend, the one that went in the bathroom, I had all of his stuff on me. And the cops took my car and busted me, and it was actually a Jeep, and he slept. We were far away. I don't even think he had a cell phone. That was in the 90s. I had a cell phone probably in my Jeep. Like a cell phone, like a big leather clunkety thing. And this guy, my friend, slept under the stairs of a hotel. He found, a side door open. He slept in there, curled up in a ball. And he had, he had, a guy, I don't know if this guy was gay, I don't know if the other guy was, some guy found him, and was like, oh my god, I'm gonna give you a room, or something, I should have given you a room, or he helped him somehow, but it was, in the middle of the morning. Looks like this might happen at 10 p.m. So I'm still waiting all the time to go to the bathroom, all I do is use the bathroom. And what I should have done is freaking gone into those convenience stores and bought some gum and gone to the bathroom. I found McDonald's and bought a hamburger in the bathroom. But when you're young and you're poor, your mom is dying. My mother-in-law was dying. They actually died at the same time. 4 months later, 5 months later, both of our moms died at a week of each other's death. They had cancer and had gone into kind of semi-remission or sent home on hospice. They lived a lot longer than doctors projected, and they were doing natural medicine. They were doing natural medicine, diet change, and health, herbs and stuff. Different alternative health they were doing. My dad's was quack. On Wikipedia, they call this guy a quack who told my dad what to do. And on my mother-in-law's side, they were she was Native American, so they had joined the Cherokee Free Nation. They were doing what the Indians were telling them to do. And I think she lived at least a year or two longer. The doctors thought she was going to live a week. had brain cancer. They just threw her head back together. They didn't make it look pretty because they thought she would be dead in a few days, and she lived years. I met my mom-in-law, which is the same DNA as my kids. Only met her once. Her and her dog, Uggy. I brought my cat and my dog. And they had another dog. It was a wolf. It wasn't a dog. It was a wolf. And my dog was a black German Shepherd, so they looked the same. They had the pointy ears, but one was black and one was white. My husband, ex-husband was white. Even though he was Indian, he was white. And the guy that was an Indian was sitting in a teepee. My ex-father-in-law was white, blonde, or blue eyes. He was a good Cherokee Free Nation elder, some kind of prophet. I don't know what he was, medicine man or something. He was sitting in the teepee with the campfire sitting there. And we were smoking whatever we smoked. And could you imagine my dog and his wolf getting along, running around? I don't know if it was 40 acres or 20 acres. Maybe just let the animals, the animals just ran free. The house was the most cleanest, perfect, handmade house I've ever saw in my entire life. It was perfect. And why did me, he would have thought my parents' house was perfect. It wasn't as tidy and clean as his, but perfect because it had everything you ever needed. Boats, cars, trucks, power tools, everything you needed. Toys, fun, money, books. I said books. His had books. His had just mainly books. And furniture, that's it. No dust, nothing. Why did we end up such punks? You know, our parents were kind of abusive. Why did my kids suffer? Because of their parents. I'm gonna pause and I'm gonna call. I've gone mad, guys. Completely mad. If anybody's watching this video, I already got the court papers sent out a year ago, November 2017. She goes, you already asked for these. Remember I kept saying my bunny ate my application? So apparently I had sent everything out last year to this medical board, and I never finished, and I had the tests and everything in a packet. I must have inspection or something, and then I must put everything away, and now I didn't send the application in. I gotta take a break. I need to call somebody. I don't know. I'm gonna jump in the shower. I don't even have time to go to the store to get my bananas. I'm gonna jump in the shower. I'm sweating. Actually, I'm gonna call. Wait, I'm gonna jump in the shower, put my robe on. I'm gonna call these people and ask them if they already got the paperwork, because I sent it in last year. I was gonna send in the application. I never did. I can't believe myself. Sometimes I wonder. Last November, I had gone about, I want to say about 6 months. They hired a second person at my job, and they gave her all of my hours. I was working for 3 to 4 or 5 days a week at this job, and then I ended up working 0 to 1 or 2. And they gave this new person my job. She wasn't coming to work. She was just lying that she would even say she stayed longer. And my income, just work 5 days a week to 0 to 1, your income, you can't pay rent. So I was using whatever money I could, you know. My daughter's money, she was getting tired of it. I have kids and animals to feed. And I finally, November, I said, oh God, as a student living on loans, October, November, December is cold, it's dark. For a student living on loans, December had 3 weeks of holiday break. So you have 12 weeks of the term, you get your money the first week. At the last school, you got to check. At the university, you actually got your money deposited into your account, which was faster because you could actually get it in advance and go buy your books and supplies and have to wait a week because the bank then take another 2 to 3 days to freaking make your money available. So I went in and I feel like I should make that phone call, by the way, right now. Forget about the shower. I went in and I went to do this, thing, and, sorry, I just got it totally spaced out. I looked at everything, and I used to be a student You let your money, say you get $3,000 back, you make that last 12 weeks, 4 months. Yeah, you can't live on that either. But if you work, if you're doing 30 credit hours a week, it's hard to work, because 30 credit hours, you have a lab that's worth half a credit or 1 credit, that's 4 hours a week. It's not really like equal credit hours. It's like doing 60, 70 hours of med school a week. And on weekends, I took like every weekend class I could. And then you have 3 more weeks added on at the beginning of January, then you would get your check then. So I already had a pattern of slim pickings in December, in November, December, when I was getting Thanksgiving, gifts for their kids, going on holidays, and the kids have 2 weeks off school or whatever it is, all that kind of jazz. And so I never really had gotten that time period was a dark one. When you had loan money, though, you knew you had money as long as you didn't fail out of school. It wasn't much money, but if you could pay your rent, you could pay your rent, right? If you don't spend it on anything else, you don't spend it on food. I had a terrible time trying to sign up for food banks around that time. And then you go and you just basically do like one shopping trip and get the cheapest stuff that you can. And you just think that you have to make it last through all of your Thanksgiving break or your winter, or all your breaks. And that's really hard. Especially if you have food allergies, it's impossible, basically. So I did a lot of praying, especially when allergies were affecting my body more. I did a lot of praying for how can I survive. God, we would have little chunks of money come here and there. When people used to be like, "Oh, it's a holiday. Here's $20 to go to Target to buy something," and I would take that money to buy it. When Target started doing groceries, I'd take that money to buy groceries, because I was like, I'm not going to buy myself something when my kids are starving. And then you buy for the kids, and then you can't afford anything for me, like food for me. So you just have to put it on a credit card. So that's when I started to use the credit card, because I couldn't pay the bills or buy food. And then when I got the check, I'll rack up the credit card by the books. When the check came in, so it was $2,000 the last 4 months, and I spent $1,000 on a credit card, and boom, now you have $500 a month of living money for 3 people to live on, and that includes gas, transportation, phones, rent. It's impossible. I mean, basically everything is to go on a credit card, or you're borrowing money. You're just borrowing more money, maximum money. Like at 8-9% interest rate. Sucks. You try to work. I try to keep my old job at daycare center. I said, yeah, I can work during the holidays like I did when I was at PSU. They didn't care, and I hate when you feel like you're a good worker, people don't care. I was reading someone said that they had some ageism in healthcare. I just had somebody young and bubbly who got the job that didn't have as much education, and obviously not a 20-year-old that didn't have any experience and no education. They got the job, and this person was older. And some people said, yeah, if you're at retirement age, it's even harder, because they think they're going to bring someone in and they're going to retire. But in my mind, if a retired age person wants to apply for a job, they're applying for a job because they want to work it. They don't want to work. They don't want to waste time doing all that application interview just to retire 3 days later. I'm going to make another video, guys. That freaked me the heck out. Bye.